Welcome to Hip Hop Now Podcast. If you're from the future, you know what to do. Get your ass out of here. Don't disrespect the legend. Hip hop is here to stay. Let's get right into the business.
What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and this is Hip Hop Now Podcast, a podcast specifically designed to keep you caught up on all things hip hop, music, and culture that happened throughout the week. Big shout out to all the supporters, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast listening. And also right here on YouTube. We are at 21,000 subscribers to this channel. The goal by the end of this year is to get to 25,000. So we're only 4,000 away. So if you enjoy this show and all the content on this channel, subscribe. Why not? Why not do that? Also hit the bell notification so you are alerted when a new episode hits the channel. If you like it, okay, cool. Hit the like button. Feel like you want to comment, do that too. But most importantly, the biggest thing you can do, besides becoming a member, you can do that also, is to share it wherever you hang out in the digital space with other hip hop heads that would also enjoy this content. Before we get right into it, big shout out to the homie Tony Into the Dome podcast right here on YouTube. We did a new episode of That Time in Hip Hop, and the episode is all about MF Doom. So if you're an MF Doom fan, or maybe you're curious about MF Doom and you need a little history, check it out. It's right here on the channel. It'll also be at the end of the video. We appreciate your support. Now, big shout out to hiphopdx.com. I'm just going to start saying Instagram because honestly, these are some of the places where I get my stories from. Let's get right into the business stuff. Verzuz is returning. You know I love them. Okay, maybe I don't. I don't hate Verzuz. It's just that at some point, especially during the lockdown, I wasn't really that into it. Don't get me wrong. I watched a couple of them because some of them I just had to see, right? Locks and Dipset. We know that's the only one y'all remember. But there was also RZA and DJ Premier, Redman and Method Man, D'Angelo, rest in peace. Like, I watched some of the verses, but after a while, I was a little tired of the rhetoric. I was a little tired of seeing the same things put in the chat. Everybody's the GOAT. And it just, after a while, I was like, you know what? Sports is still on. We locked down, but sports is on. Okay. So I'm not the biggest fan, but I do understand how popular it is. And for the longest time, they took a break, because we was outside, took a nice break. And I think now is the right time to return. And I think they probably picked one of the most interesting battles, so to speak, of verses that would probably make people watch and attend, and that is Cash Money Records versus No Limit Records, Birdman versus Master P, New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, everybody got to be there. Everybody got to be there. Everybody that can be there has to be there, right? For this battle to really come across as something worth watching. This is on hiphopdx.com. Swiss Beats and Timbaland versus Battle Series is finally set to return this month. If you're from the future, you already saw it. Why are you here? Well, thank you for being here. And there's a heavyweight clash on the cards. The legendary producers announced on Tuesday that Verzuz will make its comeback on October 25th. At Complex Con in Las Vegas, where fans will get to see Cash Money Records face off against No Limit Records. Now, who wins? I need you to put your comments in the comment section below. If we go, and I think it's supposed to be I think Verzuz is like 20 songs versus 20 songs. Who wins? I'm going to tell you right now, Cash Money Records, baby. I like No Limit, but there's a lot of weak albums in their catalog and some weak artists. Now, don't get me wrong. They got them. Master P got a couple of joints. Make him say, Ghetto Dope. I hope he does that because that's a personal favorite of mine. What was the one like I Miss My Homies or whatever? I don't know. That one, Mia X have some heat. You know, there's some joints. Ice Cream Man song. Like they have a Mystical. They have a couple of joints, but Cash Money has too many. The minute they do back that thing up, bling bling, Cash Money is the army. Lil Wayne, pick one. It can get crazy, but it'll be interesting. Am I going to watch? I will not. I think boxing's on around that time, so don't kill me. And basketball is back. Y'all asking a lot of a brother, okay? But what do you think? Who's going to win? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Put some of the songs down, especially for No Limit, because I feel like because No Limit didn't really, well, they do have Snoop. They had to counter Lil Wayne and Don't Sleep. That first Snoop album was trash on No Limit. But the two after that, those were some good albums, especially The Last Meal. So they have some joints. And probably some people we didn't even know was on a label. So we'll see what happens. But again, leave your comments in the comment section below. Next. All right. So yeah, I've been waiting for it. We all wondered what would happen, but Big L, as a part of Mass Appeal's 7 Legends, 7 Icons album release that so far has been pretty good, with the last release being Mobb Deeps, which I'll review in a few bars. But they announced that Big L's album will drop on Halloween, October 31st. The title of the album is Harlem's Finest, Return of the King, and the lead single features Nas on a song called You Ain't Got a Chance. Now, me personally, I'm wondering, what is this album going to be? Are these verses we've heard before? I've said on other podcasts, maybe they were verses that were locked up in contracts, maybe songs, maybe a full album that was locked up in a contract with, I think he was on Columbia originally, because him and Nas, I believe, were label mates. But maybe Big L had a whole album that was shelved and he signed a Rockefeller deal to do a new album. And who knows, maybe there was some stuff with Rockefeller that he had already started, but sometimes things aren't out just because they were recorded. Sometimes they are locked down and you don't even know they exist. So maybe they're verses, songs, a full album, whatever. But this first single featuring Nas and Big L, my first time listening to the song was watching a video. And I think the video made me like the song a lot. Now, to get this out the way, as far as bars, they spitting. Big L getting busy, Nas getting busy is dope, right? The beat, when I heard the teaser, I was just like, this sounds like really old. You know, it like has an older feel to it, like 90s. That could be on purpose. That could be a new beat done to sound like 90s. That could be an old beat. But whatever the case, when you watch the video, which has a vintage feel that doesn't look old, it's styled in a way to look old. And you can tell stylistically it's meant to look that way. That it looks dope and it makes the record dope, and all the vintage footage of Big L, not in a way that makes you feel like, oh man, he's not here. It's just done really well. And the song is cool. So I'm optimistic considering this is only one song, because when I went and looked up the album, and let me just make sure again, let me just get on the back phone real quick. Where it is. Yeah, here we are. This joint says 16 songs. 16 songs. Big L ain't here, y'all. I hope you know. So again, either he has a lot of records in the can. Maybe Nas made those albums, available. He just paid for them. Like, yo, okay, what would it take, Sony, to buy this album from you guys? Or whoever owns Rockefeller, what will it take to buy this from you? And they just go ahead and do that. We'll see. And lastly, so it's been about a week since Mobb Deep's latest album, Infinite, dropped. Again, another one of the 7 legends, 7 icons rollout for Mass Appeal Records. The album, again, I've let me just say this. If you don't know, the way I review albums, I give them 3 listens, right? One is just initial impressions. The second listen is to really listen intently to the bars, to the beats, to the sequence of the album, everything. And the third listen is just to confirm my thoughts. But since it's been a week, I've listened to this probably 100 times. And if you need a quick review, that's all the review you know. This is one of the best albums of the year, hands down. Now, y'all know how I do. At the end of the year, I'm going to give you 10 best albums of the year and a top 5. This goes right into the top 5. This and Clip's album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, untouchable in the top 5 for 2025, unless something crazy happens. But nothing crazy is going to happen. This album's great. This album has 15 songs and comes in at 51 minutes. Features include the Clips, Big Noyd, Nas. I think this is Georgia Smith. Hopefully that's how you pronounce her name. Nas is on here 3 times, y'all. Raekwon, Ghostface, and her. Now, when I tell you the singles, the snippets leading up to this album told me right away this album could be crazy. Could be, right? There's a couple of things we had to look at, right? Do they do a great job of having Prodigy sound like he's here and he rapped over these beats? Not necessarily even just rapped over these beats, that he was collaborating with Alchemist and Havoc, who handled all the production. It sounds like that. It sounds like some of the things that Prodigy was saying on certain tracks felt like he was present, right? And when I say present, we know he passed away, R.I.P. Prodigy and all of that. But I mean, like, in the ways Tupac talked about himself being in the afterlife, Prodigy does that a couple times on here, and it's eerie because it feels like it's him talking to us, which is dope. And that's not the whole album. This is a Mobb Deep album. Literally, this is the best Mobb Deep album since Murder Music. Like, I did a ranking of Mobb Deep albums. This one, even though I wouldn't call it a classic right away, only because I feel like it's good, but the Infamous and Hell on Earth are classic Mobb Deep albums, in my opinion. Is this one that I might put this ahead of Murder Music? I don't know. We'll see as time goes by. But some of my favorites on here include Look at Me featuring the Clips. I love the way it's not you go, you go, you go, then you go in the song. It's literally like tag team wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like Pusha and Malice are kind of rapping together. Sometimes, they sometimes sound the same. So sometimes you can't tell who's saying what, but it just sounds dope. Same thing with Prodigy. Maybe not as dynamic with Prodigy and Have, but still dope. The song with Big Noyd, the M, the O, the B, the B. I heard a snippet of that before the album dropped, and I thought it was dope. Taj Mahal, I mean, this is the ace trumpets of this Mobb Deep album. When that comes on, man, the hoodie got to go on. You got to put the hoodie on when you're listening to Taj Mahal. My Era, I like that instantly. And I don't usually like songs, not that they shouldn't exist, not that they aren't dope, but I'm not the biggest fan of songs where you not not just paying homage. Now it sounds like I'm ishing on it, but it's just a lot of name dropping. And sometimes it's just like, well, there's nothing here but me listening to a bunch of names get mentioned. But I kind of like this one because it felt like Mobb Deep from that era, giving respect to people from that era, including Dog Pound, who they had a back and forth with during that era. It just sounds really dope. My favorite at the moment is a toss up between what's the record? Down for You, featuring Nas and Georgia Smith, and I like the her version also. But on the flip side, on the grimy side, Pour the Henny. That beat, Nas spitting on that joint, Prodigy spitting, Havoc spit. Yo, this is like classic Nas and Mobb Deep collaboration. Um, it's so much I could say about this album that's probably been said by everybody at this point in time, but I definitely wanted to give you guys my review, my take. It's in the top 5, dog. End of the year, you could book it. Now, again, something crazy would have to happen to get to the point where I move so many new albums that are coming into the top 5, pause, that somehow Mobb Deep gets into the best of the year, that 10, which is still great. But right now, I can't stop playing this joint. What do you think about this album? Do you love it? Do you like it? Is it cool? What are some of your favorite tracks? Leave your comments in the comment section below. But before we end, I have one bonus story that I want to go over. If you don't know, but you should know, R&B singer D'Angelo passed away recently at the age of 51 from pancreatic cancer. Devastating news to someone like myself who is a huge fan. And I'll tell you real quick why I'm a huge fan. Because I'm a fan of like old school rhythm and blues bands like Earth, Wind and Fire and Ohio Players and Parliament, Funkadelic. Like I'm a fan of those bands because I love funk and I love the different styles of singing. I love the creativity, the musicianship that comes with those particular groups and artists. And when I first saw and heard D'Angelo on his lead single to his debut album, Brown Sugar, it was something about him that was really hip hop. The way he was dressed, the fact that he had cornrows, he had a leather coat on and he was smoking a cigarette and playing the piano, and it was so soulful. And, he got funky records also, but it was so soulful, but it felt like hip hop too, with the way he would write and his style of singing, that I was like, wow, my generation has one of those types of artists, the artists that I like from back in the days. Now we have one. And obviously, he didn't release many albums. I think in general, there are 4, right? Brown Sugar, Voodoo, Black Messiah, and then the live album that he had. And though his career was short, and though I felt like when I saw that Brown Sugar video, like, yo, he's kind of hip hop, he collaborated with hip hop throughout the years. So really quick, I'm going to give you my 5 best D'Angelo collaborations with hip hop, starting at the very top with Jay Dilla and Common off the Shining album, So Far Gone. I love this record. I will never be tired of this record. Jay Dilla did his thing on the beat. Common did his thing with the rhymes. D'Angelo with the hook, the harmonizing is excellent. Lady remix with AZ. This is the song off of the Brown Sugar album, produced by DJ Premier. The remix is produced by DJ Premier. I just thought this was dope and unexpected. The original Lady is a straight up R&B, cool, smooth groove. The DJ Premier joint is like, put your Timbs on and talk to the lady. It's like, that's the difference, right? You got your wingtips on the original, you got your Timbs on the remix with AZ, and AZ did his thing. Next, song you probably heard a million times, Left and Right, off of D'Angelo's Voodoo album featuring Redman and Method Man. You funk. The guitar licks are funky in this joint. And Redman, and this is Redman and Method Man as a duo in their prime. Dope record. How many is that? 3. So 2 more. Imagine, off of Snoop Dogg's album, The Blue Carpet Treatment, produced by Dr. Dre. I never knew D'Angelo could sound so dope over a Dre beat like that. Like, that song is dope. If you've never heard it, do yourself a favor. And last, Q-Tip, The Renaissance, a song called Believe. I really like that. Like, again, I'm a big fan of D'Angelo. I like his harmonizing. I like what I like the fact that he was so unique compared to others. Some people consider him part of the leaders of the neo soul movement, even though, it's soul music. It's not neo soul, but whatever. The neo soul movement, along with Erykah Badu and Maxwell, whatever. And when you think about that big three, you could throw Jill Scott in there. I'm gonna keep going at this point, even though music's so child, but whatever. D'Angelo was unique. He was one of a kind. You could tell he was a hip hop head also. And, it's terrible to lose him. But I think if you're not familiar with him, and you're a hip hop head, check out those songs I mentioned. And if you like what he does, go check out the album. So rest in peace, D'Angelo. You can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC on all platforms. Subscribe to the podcast in audio form if that's your bag. It's on Apple Podcasts. Review the podcast there also, please. Thank you. Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. But right here on YouTube, we are looking for subscribers to get to 25,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. Right now, we are at 21,000, which is great. So let's see what we can do to get to the end. And if you would like to support the production of this podcast, things that not only will make this podcast more visible, right? Like doing advertisement, using what I receive to do advertising, but also just the simple fact to get even more videos and exclusive videos before others are able to see it. You can become a member. The information to become a member is right here on the page, also in the description of this episode. I appreciate everybody's support. So until next time, y'all, I'm not a critic, I'm a fan. Peace.